I'm plugging in the other end, so it actually is plugged in now too. As you said, Murphy was an optimist. Good morning, everybody. So just to give you an update about registration, we're about ready to, Fatima, I'll let you talk about the schedule, but we're about ready to send out summer registration information. Summer is not a required semester, so students do not have to take courses during the summer, but you can. We have a number of courses scheduled, and many of our students are also going to be doing internships, so we can answer questions about internships today, and how that process works for getting registered. And then the fall schedule has not yet been approved and loaded by the registrar, but we can talk about what's on the plan for the fall and answer any questions that you might have there. I see something in the chat already, which was the good morning. It's so good to see everybody. So, Fatima, do you want to talk about the schedule for summer registration?
Sure. I'm going to explain a little bit of the process. We're trying to launch this starting in the summer semester. I will be sending out an email, hopefully Monday, if not Tuesday at the latest, with all the information for you to register in the summer. As Dr. Hefley said, it is an optional semester. And you will receive an email with this link. I'm going to share my screen. What you're looking on here is not finalized yet. So you'll get the finalized link next week, like I said, and you will just complete the form online. You will have to enter your UTD ID, which is a 10-digit number, all of your identifying information, and then these are the courses that we have in the summer. We're going to remove the internship from there because that's a different process. But these are the courses that you can get to choose from. You can, of course, we do not recommend taking too many classes in the summer, but if you want to take more than one, you can click on there as many as you want. And then
can I add something about that?
Yes, sir.
All right. One of the things that, if this is your first summer, just to remind everybody, a regular semester in fall or spring is 16 weeks long. If a class meets once a week, it meets for 3 hours. In the summer, the semester is only 11 weeks long. And if you meet once a week, you meet for 4 hours at a time. And so it is a more intense semester just because it's shorter than a long semester. So in the long semesters, full-time status is 9 credits. In the summer, full-time status for a graduate student is only 6 credits. So as Fatima says, you can sign up, but remember what the course load is, and full-time would be 2 classes or 6 credits. So Fatima, I'll turn it back over to you.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Hefley. Another thing that we need to remind you is if you have already completed 18 credit hours and you do register in the summer, you will have to enroll in the Practicum course if you're not doing an internship. Correct. So it's one or the other. And the information on the internship course is listed there. So you have to have completed a minimum of 18 credit hours. And in the summer, our course is in the flex side. So that means regular tuition fees will apply. So be mindful of that. And we have included the link to the academic calendar on that information. And for some of you who are in accounting analytics track, these are the courses that we have in the summer. So you can choose from those. Once you have finalized your schedule on there, make sure you sign the date and submit. Once you submit, I will get the request via email, and I will work on it as soon as possible. If you need to make changes to your schedule, add a class, drop a class, let me know in an email with all the information, and I will take care of you. So if anyone has questions about this.
Well, one other thing to remember is the form is also going to have, for some of you that are choosing to do the 6 credits outside the degree program, there'll be a place for you if you're taking another elective from within JSOM there'll be a place on the form for you to fill in that course number as well. So this is a replacement for those horrible paper forms that we used before, where everybody had to sign them and find the scanner and send them back to us. And this is just a simpler way of doing this, where you can go ahead and give us your selection of courses. And I really think Fatima has streamlined this and will make it a lot smoother for us going forward. So let's open it up to questions about summer.
Dr. Hefley, I need to add one more thing. So if you're interested in any of the flex courses, be aware those are not guaranteed. So some of them are already closed or waitlisted. And although you are guaranteed seats in the cohort sections, we cannot guarantee you seats in the flex section. So be mindful of that.
And that also is true for any of the other electives. Maybe if you're going for a course in, my favorite course, underwater basket weaving, that may already be filled and we can't do anything about that. So that applies to, a BUON flex course or a elective if you're choosing to use your free electives outside the program.
Correct.
Professor, I have a question.
Yeah, go right ahead.
So for those who are doing internship, so like I got approved from you, approval from you. So it says like I need to register for the internship credit course. So should I do that along with this form, or is that separate?
That is separate from this form. We need to have a confirmation from you of the number of credits that you want to register for your internship. And so the instructions you received said, send a mail to MS Buon Cohort confirming that you want to register for, and I don't remember yours, Yaswanta. I think it was a 0 credit, if I remember.
Yep.
That's correct.
So
I have emailed Yaswanta, so reply to the email I sent you.
Yeah, I did.
And I will take care of it this morning.
And then we'll get you registered for that. But that process is separate from this course registration form. If you're not doing an internship and you have completed 18 credits, the requirement is that you must do either an internship or a practicum in the next semester that you enroll. So some of you may choose to do a practicum this summer, or you may say, I don't want to register for courses and I'm going to push that off till fall. If you're considering that, I want to mention something to you that's an option. The requirement of 18 credits was put in to help our students who were starting overseas and then arriving here during the COVID situation. With the fall catalog, it's going to revert back to the old requirement of 2 long semesters. So after you've completed 2 long semesters, you may do an internship. It doesn't say immediately after. And so one of the things that you can do if you're not going to register this summer and you don't want to do the practicum this summer, but you want to hold off and do an internship later, one of the things that you can do now, because it's registration time, Fatima, we can do a program change right now for these students for fall, move you to the fall catalog. Now, I know this is really confusing because if you've ever looked at the form, and most of you have never seen this form, there's a form called program change. And there's 2 things that you have to fill out on that form. One is degree program, and you're not changing the degree program. And the other is catalog. And so you can request a change now to move to the fall 22 catalog, which would then remove that 18 credit requirement and allow you to do an internship anytime after you've completed 2 long semesters. So that is an option that you can do, and we're ready to do this. The form that Fatima has does not have the instructor shown, but all of that information is in Coursebook. And Fatima, while you're sharing your screen, Would you mind sharing your screen and making sure everybody knows how to find our courses? Because some people don't know about that special include special courses
Yes.
selection.
Let me share the change of program request. So
Oh, okay, super.
if you're interested in changing your catalog, I will work with me. So send me an email and I will work with you, of course, and we will complete this form. It has to have your actual signature. It cannot be typed up. And just send it to me and I'll take care of it. It has to be processed by the registrar's office, and that's where it goes into a little bit of a lag sometimes. And it may take 2 to 3 weeks to get it processed. But as long as I have it and it has our signatures, you should be fine. So let me.
And I just want to say something here for a moment, Fatima, because somebody may be reading down to the bottom where it says, attention JF1 students, this may have or will have immigration consequences. Well, you're not changing your academic program. So your I-20 won't change, your visa won't change, nothing will change. All you're doing is filling in this catalog year. And so if you started in fall of 20 or spring of 21 or summer of 21, you're under the fall 20 calendar. If you started in fall of 21 or spring of 22, you're under the fall 21 calendar. And you would just be saying, I'm moving from the fall 21 calendar to the fall 22 calendar, and you're just changing the year. That's all you're changing. So it doesn't really affect your visa status at all. But since this form is used for multiple purposes, they had to put that note on the bottom. But that is an option for all of you if you want to postpone doing the internship. I know I've talked to several students say, you know, I'm not planning to get an internship this summer, but I don't want to do the practicum. I want to push it off. This is a way to push it off.
Exactly. I'm gonna switch my screen now to the course book.
Fantastic.
So in this part, I'm going to address Amruta's question as well. So she's asking, will the registration form have the name of the instructors teaching the courses? So I will send you the email with all the information. On the body of the email, I will have the details on the instructor and all of that. The form itself, the one that I just showed you, will not have the instructor listed, and it was just to keep the form as simple as possible and just as clean as possible as well. So if you want to know who the instructor is and you don't look at my email, here's the course book. You will have to make sure that you're looking at the correct semester, and you have no idea how many students I have interacted with who are looking at the wrong term. So make sure you're looking at summer 22, and that you choose, of course, the prefix. If you want to be more specific, you can select the class level, which would be graduate, and then down here, under other options, you will include special classes.
And that's really important, that last selection. I had somebody talk to me the other day and they said, Professor, I can't find my class. And you're right, because you weren't looking for special classes, because all of the cohort classes, since other students cannot register in them, they're hidden unless you turn on the include special classes.
And here are the courses listed. This includes all of the BUON courses, which includes the Flex as well. But when you scroll down to the bottom, those starting with the S, those are ours. And you will see the course information, not only the instructor listed, but also the time of the week and the hour. And then some of the syllabus has been updated, or click on class detail and it will give you all the information. And syllabus has not been uploaded for this one, but in many other course instances it has.
And so that also allows you to answer Nitin's question. This also allows you to see whether it's online or face-to-face. So the one that you have open right now for big data, that happens to be a face-to-face course. It says SU1 is a section. It says it's face-to-face. But if you look down,
The next one.
the next one is an SW1.
Uh-oh.
That's odd.
It switched back to fall.
Oh, it switched back to fall. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you'll have to go to guided search.
Start again.
Yeah, start again. You'll be able. So the SU is summer, and that would indicate that it's a face-to-face course. An SW would be a cohort course that is an online course. So that's the other way to check, is if you just look at the, Fatima's going to pull up an SW1 right now.
I'm going to try this one. Hopefully it will be better. Huh, that's weird. I don't know what's going on. So
there's something funny there.
Yes.
Because normally these should show you the course descriptions. Summer 22, graduate. Do prescriptive. That one should.
No, again. So maybe there's a glitch in the system.
There appears to be a glitch in Coursebook. I found one yesterday that was a problem with Coursebook, and we'll report that. But normally, as we were saying, the SU, or in the regular semester, it would be an SS1 or an SS2 would be a face-to-face, and SW1 or an SW2 would be an online course. Okay. Deepika asked an interesting question. Can I take 2 5-week courses? In BUON, we don't have any 5-week courses. They're all full semester 11 weeks, except for the second half of the semester internship course. So, Deepika, I'm going to answer your question with the answer none of you like, and it depends. So the reason I say it depends is if you're an F1 student and you register for the semester, you have to be enrolled for the entire semester. So if you take 2 5-week courses and you take them sequentially, you're enrolled for the 11 weeks, you're fine. And you can double check questions about enrollment and eligibility with the ISSO, because we don't do visas. The Sneha's question is a related one. And since summer is not required, you could do an online course, or you could do 2 online courses, and that would be okay. You do not have the requirement that says you can only do an online course if you have a face-to-face course. Now, we believe, unless Homeland Security changes the rules again, we believe in fall that we're going to be going back to the pre-COVID rules, which say you're only allowed 1 online course per semester. If you're registered for 9 credits, you can only have 1 online course. If you're registered for 12 credits, you can do 2 online courses. And that would be the rules in fall. But in summer, since you're not required to be enrolled, you can enroll for whatever kind of class, whether it's online or face-to-face, that you choose to do. Now, Deepika also had another question about scholarship. So some of our students do receive a scholarship. And it's, if you came in spring and you have the new scholarship that is only for the first 2 semesters, that scholarship amount will apply for the first 2 semesters that you are enrolled. So if you enroll in summer, your scholarship amount will apply in the summer if you came in spring. If you're under the earlier scholarship, it was a lesser amount, but it was spread over 3 semesters. So somebody who was admitted in fall or spring with the old scholarship, and you register this spring, if you have not used all 3 semesters, your scholarship amount will apply. If you don't register this semester, let's say you're under the new scholarship, the Dean's Excellence New Student Scholarship, and you started in summer, excuse me, in spring, and you don't register for summer, your second semester will carry over to the fall because that is the second semester that you were enrolled. Okay.
All right, I have another question.
Yeah.
So we have for students with scholarships, we have an extended deadline to pay the fees. So when is when is it due to pay our fees for the semester?
Well, normally the fees are due the first day of classes is the normal answer. Fatima, we'll have to check with the business office and see if we know when the deadline is. I know that the business office has been very good about extending that deadline for people who needed to get financing and things sent here. But I have not had that discussion with them yet, so I don't know what what their deadlines will be. The other thing is they will also, I know some people have set up payment schedules, and they'll do that again for summer. Now, Kevin asked a question, if before we choose fall classes, who should we reach out to? And the first line would be, Fatima, because she has all of your degree audits and they're all up to date, so she can send you your degree audit and tell you what you're missing before you register for fall, to make sure that you get the courses you need if you're planning to graduate. And that's the other thing I want to mention is if you're planning to graduate in either summer or in fall, pay special attention to the emails that you get about graduation applications, because if you do not apply to graduate, and that's to graduate from your degree as well as, if you're completing a certificate, you have to apply to graduate from each program, the cohort program, and if you're doing the machine learning certificate or if you're doing the business intelligence certificate. In your final semester, you must apply to graduate from each of those in the semester that you're graduating. And so, the academic program calendar that's out has those dates on it right now, but there will be emails come out to remind you to please submit your application to graduate. And that will be, true whether you're graduating in summer or in fall, because I'd hate for somebody to miss that deadline and then not be eligible to graduate.
And the deadline to apply for graduation in the summer right now is June 9th. And I know there's a long way to go, but that date will be here sooner than later. So if you plan to do that, let me know and I will make sure everything is in order. If you apply, because coming from the advising office, I saw this many times. If you apply to graduate in the summer and then you change your mind, plans happen to change, we can always move your graduation to the fall semester, but you have to communicate with me. We cannot guess what your plans are. We cannot read your mind. So do communicate. That's the key word, communicate. And about graduation, another note, we do not have a commencement ceremony in the summer, but you would be given the opportunity to participate in the fall semester.
Right. We probably don't have anybody in this group that wants to ask this question, Fatima. But if somebody was on probation, are there any special things they need to know about registering for summer or fall?
Yes. So unfortunately, probation happens. It's not the end of the world. So we would need to look at your degree audit, make sure that you are in a situation that can be salvageable, which means it might mean having to repeat a course or multiple courses. You do have to maintain a 3.0 GPA, not only in the overall, but also in the core. So when you're on probation and I check your degree audit, I make sure that those 2 GPAs are in good standing. In some cases, unfortunately, repeats will be necessary. So if you're in that situation, let me know. Reach out to me and we'll see what is the best option for you either in the summer or fall semester. Students are given up to 3 semesters to bring their GPA to a good academic standing. After that, they're automatically dismissed from the university, the program and the university.
And
So-
one thing, when I'm saying bye-bye, one thing that I really want to emphasize about that is in all my years of doing this, I've only had one student that was dismissed. And it's not done by Fatima. It's not done by me. It's not done by the JSOM dean. It's done by the graduate dean of the university. And so that is, there is, if you've completed 3 semesters on probation, you haven't pulled your GPA above your cumulative GPA above 3.0. They won't care if you're entering into your last. Well, they'll care. It's too bad. It's sorry. It's a sad situation. But the catalog says if you are still in that point, even if you're going into your final semester, they will dismiss you. And so that's something to keep in mind. But I said we have very few students who end up in that situation. I've only had one in all my years.
Correct.
But if you
And-
do have questions about registering or what you should do, or where your grade points are, reach out to Fatima. She has the degree audits, and the degree audits show on them your core GPA, your overall GPA, and your program GPA. So there's 3 GPAs we track. One is your GPA in the 6 core classes, because you have to be a 3.0 or above there to graduate. Your program GPA, because you have to have completed your BUON program with 36 credits and a GPA of 3.0. And then it's your overall cumulative GPA that's used to determine probation. And I just want to mention one thing there is people sometimes forget that things like the MAS 6102 professional development, which is not in your core, not in your program GPA, it is in your cumulative GPA. And so if somehow you magically manage to fail that class, that can lower your GPA and hurt you overall. So that's something to keep in mind. Deepika, you're typing. Do you want to just jump in?
Oh, I didn't know that I was typing. Sorry for that.
That's okay.
And Kevin, I think it's.
I got a quick question. So
Sure.
Right now I'm in the and I'm sorry if this is like super specific, but I'm in the Practicum course right now. And so that is in lieu of the internship requirement, right?
It meets the internship requirement for your degree. Now, let's say you get a really cool internship offer for the summer.
Yep.
Go for it. Go to the CMC page and look up the link for, entering your internship request through Orion, submit it through. And like Yasmin said, his went through yesterday. I remember approving it, reviewed it. It's fine. We approved it, went over to, now it's on you to confirm you want to register. And Fatima just put the link out there for the policies and procedures, and the link from there to Orion is right on that page. And that's okay. So you had to do either an internship or a practicum this semester because you met the 18 credit rule, but that doesn't prevent you from doing an internship.
Right.
The only thing it will prevent you, Kevin, is now, since you've already met the internship requirement, you cannot do the 6009 internship course.
Right.
So if you do that really cool internship you've got lined up for the summer, it's going to be in the 6V98 course, and you can choose whether you do 1, 2, or 3 credits.
Okay.
So if you're working full-time all the way through the summer, we will send it back saying you're approved for up to 3 credits.
Okay.
And then you can choose if you want to do 1, 2, or 3. If you choose 1, there's, the thing that happens sometimes is students will end up with 34 credits. They've completed 6 core classes, 5 electives, and 1 credit of internship. And they go, I can graduate. No, you haven't done 36 yet. And so then they end up doing another course and paying, for 3 more credits to get to 37 to graduate. So if you're going to do an internship this summer, you need to decide whether you want to do 3 or 2 or 1, and that's really up to you. And also, what other courses do you want to schedule in and plan?
Right. So my main question is, does the practicum course, so we know that it covers the internship requirement, but does it also, since it is 3 credit hours, it also counts towards our 36, right?
It does.
Okay. So given that, I wouldn't technically have to register my internship in order to graduate so long as I've taken the practicum, correct?
I'm going to answer that in 2 ways, Kevin.
Sure.
Because I don't remember everybody's status in the program, and I apologize. If you're a domestic student, you do not have to, and you get a job offer to work this summer, you don't have to register that as an internship with us unless you wanted the credits.
Okay.
If you're an international student, you must register for the internship, because the only way to get the CPT approval on your I-20 to allow you to work is to have an internship.
Gotcha.
So I'm being really careful to answer that, because there's 2 different answers depending on each individual person, and I don't want to give one answer without giving the other.
Understood. Thank you.
You're welcome. But that was a good question. I'm waiting for a couple more questions that are being typed to pop up before we switch to talk about fall. What do we do in practicum if we choose instead of an internship? So a practicum is always a project-based course. Many times it is project-based with a particular company or a problem, rather than an internship in a company. I'm thinking about one of the practicums a couple of years ago, collaborated with the city of Dallas and one of the NGOs to do some analysis around what things or what factors in the community lead to certain other kind of outcomes in the community. And that was just, that was an amazing project that went on. And so that is a hands-on project-based course that will satisfy the requirement of the internship if you don't do an internship. My advice to everybody is, try to do the internship if you can, because that gets you into a company, it gets you exposure to working in the US. And many times these internships lead to an extension to another semester or lead to a full-time offer. And so that's a great way to get in and try out a company. We had one student in the program who actually changed internships twice. He did 3 separate internships while he was in the program with 3 different companies, because he wanted to get broader and more kinds of experience. And that was okay, because he did 1 credit, 1 credit, 1 credit.
Dr. Hefley, I need to jump in because a few students have come in to meet with me. They feel frustrated because they haven't found an internship yet. Do not feel frustrated.
Oh, it's too early to feel frustrated.
It's too early. And there are too many options out there.
Yeah, there's lots of options, lots of things happening. Not all of the summer internships are gone. And the very, very worst thing that you can do is, oh God, please give me an internship. I need a job. Don't be desperate. It oozes out of you. They sense it. It's like fear. Don't get desperate yet. There's no reason to get desperate. Even some of the very, very best people that I follow in LinkedIn that are experts in international students are saying, they're saying the same thing I'm saying right now is, hey guys, don't panic yet. It's much too soon. Not everybody has filled all their slots yet. We're still 2 months away or a month and a half away from summer beginning. There's lots of time. Don't panic. And the other thing that I'm finding from talking to students is, you all have done the professional development course. They've talked about the right way or the best ways to find jobs. And I asked, what are you doing? And the standard answer I get often is shotgun. And by shotgun, I mean, if you think about how a shotgun works, you've got, 1 bullet, but lots of little particles that fly out of it. And they're doing the shotgun approach. They're just going online, and every day they go to Indeed or LinkedIn or wherever, and they search for jobs, and they click on apply and upload their resume, and there's no connection, they're just blindly applying to anything that smells like a job. And that has a very low rate of return. And so some of the people that are getting desperate are really not doing the things you've been taught, and really not, going after a plan for their internship search and looking for the kinds of jobs. Some of them don't even know what kind of job they want, and so they're not being very focused in their search. So Ranganath, we talked about this earlier. If you meet the 18 credit rule, you did 10 credits in fall, you did 9 credits this spring, and you meet the 18 credit rule. If you register this summer, you must do either an internship or practicum in the summer term. If you don't register in summer, you can you have the option then of either doing practicum or internship in the next semester you register, which would be fall, or if you, as we talked about, you can work with Fatima to do a catalog change. You move your degree plan to the new catalog, which would allow you to do internship anytime after you complete 2 long semesters. So you could push that off if you want to do classes in fall, do the program change, do classes in fall, and do an internship next spring or next summer. That would be allowed.
And I know that a few students who started in the spring, they want to speedy up the process to qualify for an internship. Just be careful with the number of credit hours you register in the summer. You do not want to overdo it, because then that will put your GPA on the line, and you don't want to risk that, losing that opportunity.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute, because that's something that some people don't realize. Let's say you want to, as Fatima said, speedy it up. And summer is only 6 units for full-time load, but you want to speed it up, and you want to have your 18 credits by fall. So you want to rush and do, 9 credits this summer, or try to do 12 credits, which is crazy. And try to get ready for fall. If you end up on probation at the end of the summer, the very first thing that we look for when we go to approve an internship is, are you in good standing? If you're on probation, not in good standing, we cannot approve an internship. And so that's an important thing to remember, is you don't want to push yourself into a bad situation just because you're rushing. Okay, any questions about summer courses?
I have another comment about summer.
Okay.
I know that some of you will travel or go back to your home countries over the summer for vacation, and you want to do an online class, and that's perfectly fine. But be aware that for some instructors, they will require you to take the exams at a Proctor location. So be ready for those. But we have Proctor locations all over the world, basically.
But when you plan for that, remember, some Proctor locations charge a fee to use them.
Correct.
If the exam is in our testing center, that's free to you, because it's a university provided service. Okay, so everybody can see the summer courses in course book, assuming whatever bug you were having trouble with is fixed, because I could see them all the other day. If I go in to look at BUON, let me just look at them real quickly and see if they're coming up. So I'm seeing 63. I'm going to go down and look at the 6398 SW1. And it says there's no course section that matches me. So I'm still seeing that problem about bringing up that course, but we can see you can see the course, you cannot see the details on it. And I'll send a note over to the technology group and ask about that as soon as we finish.
The email
But-
you will receive from me will have all the information as well. So if plan A doesn't work, plan B should.
Right. But now fall courses are not loaded there yet. And so that is something that we can talk about. Are there any questions about summer and summer offerings before we go on? Oh, I want to go back to one of the questions we had before about how can I tell the difference between a online and a face-to-face course. If you look in the column that says schedule and location, it will either give you a date and a time, or a day of the week and a time and a room, or it will say something like internship or no meeting room. Now, if it says no meeting room, that's going to be an online class. So that is something to keep in mind. Any other questions about summer?
I have a question regarding insurance. So, whom do I contact if I want to get insurance from outside and not from college?
Fatima, can you pull up the health center page about student health insurance? Because you have that option. If you purchase equivalent outside insurance, or you're covered by, maybe your parents' plan or a spouse's plan or something, you can waive out of the student health insurance. And there is a deadline for that also. And that's something that I usually mention when we're doing face-to-face orientations, to remind people that there is a deadline. And Fatima just posted the health center page link out in the chat. And there is a deadline that you can file the waiver form by. So if you have insurance through equivalent insurance through some other means, you can request a waiver, and then that saves you on paying. And Fatima's showing you right now. Go up to the top and say resources, health insurance.
And then they have a specific email that addresses these kinds of questions, and they're very responsive. So make sure you send your question to them.
Yeah, your question goes directly to them, and they'll tell you what the deadline to file your waiver form is. And that's a way to save yourself a few $100s. The other thing to think about is that since summer is a shorter semester than long semester, the student health insurance fees in summer are lesser than they are during the long semesters. But that's a good question. Okay, fall. The fall schedule is still in the approval process. It's not posted yet, but I can talk a little bit about fall and perhaps answer some questions. If I go down the list of fall courses and think about what's going to be offered. Yeah.
So for the summer, if we so if we want insurance, do we need to register for that, or do we need to call for somebody, or is it like by default, like other semesters, will they enroll us into the insurance?
If you're registered, they're going to automatically enroll you, and then the charge will be added to your account.
Okay, so if I register for the credit internship credit, so technically I'm registered, right?
If you're registered for internship credits, you're technically registered, and so they will bill you for insurance.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now, the one thing I want to say about the billing is sometimes that shows up after your tuition charges are posted to your account. So what happens sometimes is you get this, you get the tuition charges and you pay it, and you think, okay, I paid for the semester. yay, I'm done. And then a week or so later, the charge for insurance shows up and you go, oh. And so it's not always automatic at the same day. It will show up later. And we always warn students to check your bill, not only at the beginning of semester when you pay it, but then check it again a couple of times during the semester to make sure there aren't any charges. Fatima and I have to send mail to a couple of people that haven't finished paying off all of their charges for this semester, and one of them it's something like a $50 charge for something. So there's some fee or something that hasn't been paid, and we're going to have to remind them that they have to please go check your bill.
It is a big deal. Do not skip on the payment.
Yeah. We don't get any of that, but it is an important thing to do. So any other questions about summer before I turn to fall? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start looking at fall, because the question that's going to come up is, for continuing students, what are going to be the options for us? And I can go through the draft schedule with you right now. So we know that there'll be a section of econometrics, the BUON 6312. Some of you may not have completed the database course. There will be a section of the database course 6320. There's going to be a section of 6335, which is the organizing for business analytics platforms. There'll be a 6337 section, which is predictive analytics. That's a core class. There's a planned section of 6340, programming for data science. That's that's the Python class. There's a section of 6341, the applied machine learning. Big data, 6346. There'll be section of 6357, the advanced business analytics with R. And then there's going to be two other electives that we have not offered, or three other electives that we did not offer this spring. One is Cloud Computing Fundamentals. That's more of a data engineering related course. We're planning to offer the Web Analytics course, BUON 6344, as well as an offering of the Business Data Warehousing, which is quite commonly done along with Big Data or done before Big Data. That's the MIS 6309 course. So that's the electives or core courses planned for fall. I skipped the first semester courses because nobody here is a fresher or a new student in fall. So I went over the continuing courses for you. Any questions about fall?
I just want to check if we have data visualization for fall. That's MIS 6380.
6380 is, let me just double check something. 6380, it was not offered last fall, is not on the fall schedule. I'm going out to course book to look at. I want to go to all terms. I'm still typing in everything for the course book search that I want to do. I'm waiting for it to come back, so give me just a second. Normally, that's not every semester. 22 summer, you're asking about fall, but there's 22 summer sections that are offered in Flex, 22 fall, the flex sections are already full. We don't have I'm looking for the SU. Oh, this is the wrong search. Let's do just the 6380. Okay, that's better. There. '22 fall.
In what I'm seeing, Dr. Hefley, I do not see for cohort.
Yeah, we had a section in spring. We normally schedule that spring, not spring and fall. I'm looking. We had a 22 spring section right now that that is going on right now. And I'm just double checking it because that one usually schedules spring, and BDW schedules fall. This was a 21 spring. So normally that's a spring offering.
Is there a way if I could take that in, like the flex classes, is it available in flex that I could take it?
In summer or fall?
Either of them.
Summer, there is, summer, are you going to be face-to-face or online?
Both would do for me.
Okay. It looks like summer, the face-to-face has, well, this is interesting. It says there are 3 available seats and 2 on the wait list. So I can't see the wait list for this class, but I'm guessing that they are, right now it's only open to ITM, and there's the 2 that are waitlisted, maybe BUON. But there's 1 seat that shows as still being available in the face-to-face. And I don't see so that's summer. Fall, 1, 2, 3, 4 sections are full. Yeah, and I was just talking with Professor Thuin yesterday. All those sections are full for fall in the Flex program. There's 4 sections of that offered, and they're all full.
I actually want to focus on data visualization, so I'm really keen on taking that subject before I do my internship. So anything would do, whatever is available, I would be ready to go for either summer or fall. And if there is, as you mentioned, that there is availability for summer, so how do I register for it?
Send Fatima a mail, or send the program mail, MS BUON Cohort, and say I want to enroll in the MIS 6380.OU1 course.
Okay.
And that's Tuesday afternoon from 1 to 5.
Okay.
And that is the only section that's showing for summer that has seats left. This one is, that's the only one.
I only see one that's for flex. The other sections are for executive education.
Right. We can't, the GW1 hasn't registered yet. And that's going to be an online section second half, because they're on an 8-week, they're on a different schedule than we are. So we can't put students in those sections. They're not open to us. But there is a flex section that has, as I said, there's 2 on the wait list and there's 3 seats available. So there's a possibility of being able to get added into that one for summer. But then if you do that, you are going to be billed by the bursar the flex tuition, which is a different price than your cohort tuition.
All right. And my scholarship will still apply, right?
That we have to check with the business office because bursar billing is handled by the bursar, not by our billing office.
Okay.
Fatima, do you want to check on that?
I will check that.
Yeah, because my fear is that theoretically it should work because it's debits and credits in a journal. But I don't know if the bursar does the same accounting that I know.
All right.
I've been working with a student who is both cohort and MBA,
Yeah,
and there's a lot of back and forth between the bursar's office and our finance office. So
right, right. Yeah. And that is a good question about this course because there's a couple of courses like the BDW, the Business Data Warehousing and Data Visualization that we don't have enough demand for every semester, but we alternate between fall and spring. So BUON 6337, the predictive analytics is only offered usually in the fall semester. So if you need that core course to graduate, you should plan on taking that course in the fall because it may be the following fall again before it's offered. Predictive we usually offer in spring and summer, but prescriptive we usually offer in spring and summer, but predictive we usually offer only in the fall. So that's an important thing to keep in mind if you're thinking about your fall schedule and what I need to do to complete my 6 core courses. Any other questions about fall? I'm looking at the time. We're coming up to the top of the hour. And again, as fall registration opens up, Fatima will be reaching out to people with an email saying, fall registration is open. Here's how to register for your courses. And we'll plan to do it very much like we're doing with summer to try to minimize the amount of paper that gets generated back and forth. All right. Well, I hope everybody's doing well. Hang in there and enjoy this weather this weekend. And if you have any other questions, remember that the easiest way, if you don't want to write to one of us, is just write to the program, and one of us will get back to you and respond. I just posted our address out in the chat again. It's MS BUON Cohort at utdallas.edu, and we're always keeping on top of those emails. And I wish you a great weekend. Thank you for coming today.
thank you for joining us.